This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
Welcome. Welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast. I'm your host, Jamie.
Howdy, City Slickers. Welcome.
So I'm not off to a hot start. I'm still trying to figure out this recording schedule. I mean, I work 2 jobs. I work a lot of hours. Plus, I'm doing this podcast. And I like to spend time with people I love at time to time. So, like, I recorded an episode Thursday. I figured, all right, I ain't going to even try. I just wanted to get it uploaded because that's what takes me, like, that's what holds me back the longest. I record on my phone and it uploads to the cloud. I don't know. I can't figure out how to do a direct transfer over. It would save me so much time. Anyway, so I did that, and then so it's like I record Thursday, then I'll edit Friday, and then I'll record. But so like I recorded Friday, so I could then make that video today. And the one I recorded last night, the audio, I don't know, it skipped parts. I don't know. So out of frustration, I just scrapped it all. And now I'm going to ramble on for a while here. So you've seen Laken Riley. Remember her name? Actually, I got a shirt. I don't know if I showed it in the last episode or not. But I have a shirt that arrived this week. Say her name, Laken Riley. I will be wearing it soon. I should have been put it on this time, but I forgot. And she's not the last. She's not the first. We're going to have many, many people, women. Remember, we care about women. We're all supposed to be feminist, right? Well, I think if someone called me a feminist, I would take that as a personal attack. But I'm certainly not happy with how women are being treated in this country and around in the world. But people who are not vetted. Now, see, like we all are. Americans are all vetted, generally, right? Because we're in our society, and you become an adult, and you've had plenty of. See, in American society, we're all vetted, all American citizens. I mean, just naturally, as we age, right? I mean, all of a sudden, if you're just plopped down somewhere, like there's been no vetting at all. Well, women are being sacrificed for that ideology, and I don't think that's a good idea. I do have a video posted about the...
Today, Junior?
I do have a video posted about the divide. And I only focus on the GOP, Republican, right-wing aspect of it. Don't know how much division there is in the Democratic Party, because it's not absolute, because otherwise this would just sail through. That's the odd thing. But the most unsettling thing is that the people I like and respect are the ones saying this is bad legislation.
You're lying to me.
The ones I don't trust
You're hiding something as well.
are big fans of this. I should tell you where we are. So Dan Crenshaw, the Republican rep from Texas, who is a SEAL, lost an eye fighting overseas, became famous when Pete Davidson made fun of him on SNL. And then he did Joe Rogan, and just like, God, it's like, man, this guy, he's a leader. He's going to lead, maybe he can lead us someday. And then he followed in the path of Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and those types. War. More the better. and did not stand by Trump. I mean, he clearly just made a decision that, listen, it's better I turn my back on Trump now. And he probably miscalculated, but he is being challenged. He does have a primary challenger, but it's almost impossible to unseat people.
Hey, this is bullshit.
So Tucker Carlson posted this. This is Rep. Dan Crenshaw as he walks out of the Capitol building after voting to give Joe Biden the power to shut down news sites that dare to challenge him. And that's what scares me. I mean, what if I'm being lied to? I don't know. What happens if Joe Biden shuts down Twitter? What if they sign this into law and it does allow him to shut down Twitter? Because even if he said, all right, I'm going to shut down Twitter, and then, okay, file a lawsuit, now we've got to go to court over whether he can, they fit this bill, and the election's over.
Access to
So let's see what Dan Crenshaw had to say.
access to everything TikTok has, which means data on all Americans, and with data and with access to your app that you're addicted to, you can vastly manipulate an entire population, which the Chinese have done already.
Are you worried that our intelligence agencies are doing the same thing domestically?
Am I worried that I know that they're not?
They're not manipulating Americans. They're not
Yes, I
controlling
know.
the flow of information.
Yeah. Did you have some evidence otherwise that you'd like to share?
I mean,
Okay.
before the
Any serious questions?
What a piece of shit. He knows better. He does.
ByteDance were to say
Congressman, you asked for an example of the U.S. intelligence agencies meddling in our...
Okay, so I covered this on the failed podcast, right? I didn't watch it through. I didn't realize there was a follow-up to that, so awesome. And I'm going to stop trying to talk with my hands because it makes editing more difficult. The thing I need to do is sit just like this, the
What
entire
about before
show.
the 2020 election when 50 members came out and said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation? Does that count?
No, because I mean they were retired.
They were retired, but the FBI had the laptop for over a
There's
year.
nothing even close to what TikTok access to everything
So-
TikTok has, which means data on all.
That's why he won't go on Tim Pool. That's why he will never do Charlie Kirk. But he posted this, a response. Dan Crenshaw said Crenshaw's response, Tucker lying for attention as usual. Maybe since he lost his production assistants at Fox News, he can no longer do basic research or read short legislation. Nothing in the TikTok bills gives anyone any authority to shut down news agencies. Tucker is mad about a bill that simply stops the CCP from stealing the data of tens of millions of Americans and using TikTok to push their propaganda. 90% of conservatives in the House voted for this bill. Now, that's where some of the question comes in. Okay, so my main concern is how they're influencing the population, but it's not how they're attacking. That's not the angle they're using to try to get this passed. They're talking about data, and I don't want any foreign country to have the data, but I don't know if they do or not, quite frankly, and I don't know what really they're going to do with my data.
Honest. If you were being honest with me and honest with yourself, I'm afraid you tell me an entirely different story.
I'm trying to find kind of a middle of the road. I mean, Google is not going to let... See, Google doesn't let conservative news pop up. So, Chinese border crossing was the search. Number one is CBS. And I've got ad block. So, they won't let me see it. Al Jazeera. Some Asian website. Fox News, CBS, CNN, New York Post, Yahoo. There we go. Whatever, Yahoo. Why are so many Chinese crossing the southern border? That's a good question. Oh, wow. They found a picture of a family. Shocking. What's this? What's that on his wrist? I'm not going to even bother reading the article because I'm sure they don't address it. They don't ask the question. She's got 2 on her wrist. What are they doing? According to NPR, now this was June 26th of 2023, China owns 380,000 acres of land in the U.S. Here's where. So you've got a bunch of Chinese immigrants pouring over the border. Where are they going? They're probably not headed to Panda Express. Where are they going? So we've got Chinese fighting age males pouring over the border in California. And then we have... Okay, so we have Chinese... We got so we got a lovely family here. Now, look, man has a little hospital bracelet on. Girl has 2 of them. I'm sure there's nothing to that, and I'm sure they get to the bottom of that in this article.
Does anybody have any idea about who or what this is?
Nope, not covered. Now, according to NPR, China owns 380,000 acres of land in the U.S. Here's where. Now, that's irrelevant. So we have Chinese surging into our country illegally. We have China, for some reason, foreigners are allowed to own land in this country. Oh, do you think those Chinese men are headed to these places? Like, I don't know, conspiracy theory type stuff that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's possible we could have foreign military bases on our land. And I wonder, is that covered in the TikTok legislation? No. But the app that I don't own, I don't interact with, and I'm not the one, I don't care, like, oh, I don't use it, I don't care what happens, I don't care what, I do. I have a thing I'm trying to start. I'm tweeting at people, I talk about it on the show, not enough. Cameras in the classroom. We want to fix American education, cameras in the classroom. There's so much debate about charter schools and public schools, defunding public schools, giving to charter schools, and you're never, that's good. That's a hard argument to make any progress on, because politicians then would have to go against teachers' unions, and that ain't happening. But you say, okay, sit down with a teacher. Go to your local school board meeting and say, listen, I got an idea. Cameras in the classroom. Let me tell you why. Students who miss school, they can go online and watch their lessons. It's on there. Just like YouTube. It's easily done. So cameras in the classroom. Here's what you do. Only accessible by parents and students. Because leftists like to accuse people who suggest this of some disgusting things. So I'm going to ignore that and keep on going, because I care about children, actually. So we want cameras in the classroom. Here's why. Students who are absent, they can go back and watch the lessons. Or if they weren't really sure on the lessons, they can go back and watch it. They have trouble with their homework, maybe the parents can go with them and then watch the lesson and help them explain. Maybe they're just not getting what the teacher's saying. Maybe they're not just communicating as well. Or maybe the parent knows how to communicate to the student, to the child better. But it gives parents the opportunity to keep an eye on what is being taught to their child. And if there's no shenanigans, the teachers should not have any problems with it, because it's going to improve education. But they will. They will have a problem. And then that's when you can say, well, why? What do you have to hide? Cameras in the classroom, folks. Anyway, I got off topic. Yeah, TikTok. Let's. It's influencing kids in a very, very negative way, or culture generally. We need to do something about it. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I have no idea with this TikTok shit. I have zero idea on what is what. It's scary, but we need cameras in the classroom. That's how we can save the children, aside from banning the TikTok. Now, okay, so earlier I could have swore that this had a video of Tucker saying how TikTok needs to be taken down. Alex Stein, you're literally running cover for the FBI and CIA when you defended them for the Hodge twins. 90% of these fake conservatives are anti-American traitors that only care about money and power. Yeah.
For you to be here.
Yes, I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I mean, not a single. I've not seen a single real conservative supportive of this legislation. Austin Peterson, big libertarian from Missouri. He's just here for the ratio. I don't really know. I guess he's just kind of seeing the weather forecast as far as this goes with regarding the comments. So we'll find out, and whatever happens is probably not going to be beneficial to us. It'll probably be meant to destroy us and take our rights. So this is I've never heard of this profile. Okay, so it's a professional troll account because they got the blue check marks, so they're paying. Never the Don Khan, Trump is done. So it is an anti-Trump Twitter page. It says, just imagine how much better shape our country would be right now if there were the people leading the Republican Party. Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, and Mitt Romney. Well, you're in fantasy land because they can't. They've tried to lead the Republican Party, and they have failed to do so.
Nothing. That's a lie when you do that. I know you're lying, you bitch. I know you're lying.
And at various points, I supported all of them. I voted for Romney. I thought, Mike Pence seemed like a good man.
I'm not a smart man.
And I don't hate him. I mean, how the Trump fanatics kind of framed him, it has worn off on me a little bit. I don't like Pence, mainly from the Tucker Carlson takedown.
He died like a dog.
He said he didn't care. He didn't care about the suffering of Americans. And Nikki Haley, I mean, they all like war. Now, I could say that I could put a picture of, Alan West up, Ron DeSantis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I mean, Alan West is off doing his own thing, but I mean,
why are Biden's approval ratings so low when things are generally pretty good?
Bill Maher, everybody. Now, Bill Maher, Tim Pool made a takedown, kind of did a video, put out a little video recently about Bill Maher, just a total takedown. This dude is laughable. He's very laughable.
Now, of course, there are problems. America's a big place, but wages are rising, unemployment is negligible, the stock market is soaring. We somehow...
Okay. What? They're printing money, so our money is like... If you make $20 an hour and things cost 50% less than they do now, would you rather make $25 and they... I mean, so I'm not an economist. I'm not very great at math either, to be honest. But would you rather be making $25 now with the current prices, or make $20 an hour but everything's half the cost? That's inflation. He is an idiot. He's not a smart man. He just has clever little quips every now and then.
Brushed off both the Trump presidency and the pandemic. Yes, inflation persists.
And they inject
a lot of things.
They
but,
injected.
You know, an actual good, nice size.
They've ruined our military and wokeified our defense. That should be the pretty much number one concern, quite honestly, when we've got the previous story about what the Chinese are up to. Plus, I don't think radical Islamists have gained any love for America. And our military is short-staffed and woke. That happened under this administration. Maybe he'll get to it.
TV now costs $60. Who gets credit for that? We've got next day shipping, stuffed crust pizza, legal pandemic. Yes, inflation persists for a lot of things, but you know, an actual good, nice-sized TV now costs $60.
Okay. No, it doesn't. I've looked at getting a TV for my room, a small TV, and they don't cost $60. Not a nice one. You might be able to find some off-brand 24-inch for $60, but he's full of shit.
Who gets credit for that?
The free market.
We've got next day shipping, stuffed crust.
The free market.
Pizza, legal weed, GPS, and porn on the phone.
So he's making a great point.
Are you stupid or something?
This trend, according to the videos here, what I could find, 5 months ago, women started asking their boyfriends or husbands on how often they thought about the Roman Empire, and then the responses were shocking, and it made this little trend. And then there was one video that I could not find where a man answered it like profoundly and said, well, all the time, because like that's what they're doing to us now. Like that's why they had the games, the Coliseum, they built that. And they would give them free food and free entertainment while they had no chance to prosper. Even though they said they lived in a place that they could. So anyway, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about, quite frankly. Okay, so hopefully this sounds good. I've been having issues with my videos, having like staticky in the background. And I think my little device here, I think that's the problem. But, so all the things that Bill Maher was just talking about.
Now hurry up.
Anyway, alright, my internet's not loading that video quickly enough. So the point is, what Bill Maher was talking about, all the things, all the stuff that we have in our country, it's to distract us from what's important. God, family, country. But hey, you know, Twitter, porn, fantasy football, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. It's bullshit. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I've become a very big fan of RFKJ. I don't know if I could vote for him for president because of his stance on bodily autonomy or killing babies, as they like to say. And the reason I would vote for Trump, I think the only reason I would vote for him is Clarence Thomas and his seat on the Supreme Court, and my hope that if Trump wins, he would replace him with a young conservative, because he's 75 years old and we don't need any room for error. RFK Jr. is going to announce his VP pick on March 26th, so apparently he asked several people and has been told no. Apparently, quarterback Aaron Rodgers is a big contender. And also Jesse Ventura is named, I heard, and that is insane. There is... if he's going down that deep, then... my goodness. But I don't understand, like, if it's not Tulsi, then she's holding out for Trump. What RFK Jr. should do is wait till Trump picks his, and then the people who weren't picked from him possibly pick somebody from that group. But Trump probably won't announce his until the Republican convention, and that's sometime in the summer, I think. And it'd be better off for RFK if he could, let people know who the team's going to be as early as possible. So Scott Brown. Okay, so that's interesting. I heard Rand Paul turned him down, which is understandable. Scott Brown. Scott Brown was the senator when Ted Kennedy died, I believe. Scott Brown, a Republican, actually won in Massachusetts, and that was during the whole 2008 or so revolt against government takeover of health care, and then I believe he lost to Elizabeth Warren. That is her seat now. But I wonder, Michael Bloomberg ran for president last time, for briefly. I don't know. He's certainly thinking outside the box, and I hope that's not because he has to, because no one is willing to ride with him. Austin Peterson, the Libertarian from Missouri. That might be interesting. I don't know, but that's not a good sign for Mr. JFK Jr. So he put this, his YouTube channel put this out 20 hours ago.
You may have read that the DNC has now committed to investing a mountain of money trying to smear me with billboards.
The Rock. They've talked about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, possibly running for president someday. That could be very interesting. I have no idea if... I don't know. Probably not. But I think definitely like it better than Jesse Ventura. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's controversial. His biggest thing is he spoke out against the vaccine, and that's probably the only reason why he's in consideration, supposedly.
Trucks and Planet articles. They've called me a spoiler candidate and a stalking horse, which is actually an upgrade from some of the other things they've been calling me. This is what happens when you dare to give Americans a choice. The DNC wanted a coronation for President Biden. They never expected our movement to gain the kind of momentum it has. Unfortunately for the DNC, we're not going anywhere. The DNC just hired a team of shady operatives to take down my campaign. One of the leaders of this group is DNC strategist Liz Smith, who made her bones working for the CIA's champion in Congress, Adam Schiff, a man who served the intelligence agency's agenda for years by supporting the Iraq War, the Patriot Act, and who authored legislation targeting minorities. The DNC has lost touch with the values of John F. Kennedy, of Robert Kennedy, and of Franklin Roosevelt. They've abandoned the American middle class. They've become the party of Wall Street, of censorship, of cronyism. They've become, in short, undemocratic. That's why I declared my independence on October 9th. I'm offering a vision of America that includes secure borders, a strong middle class, an end to the chronic disease epidemic, and a future that your kids can be proud of. I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. Our events keep growing, and according to a recent NBC poll, 34% of Americans can see themselves voting for me right now. For more information and to chip into my campaign, head to Kennedy24.com.
I did actually. I mean, it only take $10, but also to throw the watchers off that I donated to him. So who can this VPV? I mean, he's a white man, so black man. Let's say a man of color or a woman. Now, a man of color in the semi-democratic. I mean, maybe somebody like Jocko for VP for him. I mean, Jocko would be my number one pick for president. Jocko Willick, VP for RFK Jr. I like it. So Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader. So you just see, this is considered one of
the outlines of the deal between Saudi Arabia and
Trump. Now, keep in mind, Trump was creating peace in the Middle East with his Abraham Accords. Biden elected not to continue that legacy. Now, Biden could have said, all right, the board, nope, wide open border, none of that, tax cuts, gone. But hey, peace in the Middle East, let's give that a try. No.
Between Saudi Arabia and Israel that were reported before October 7th still make a great deal of sense and can be the catalyst for the creation of a viable Palestinian state.
Okay, so they don't want a state. They don't want an independent state. They've said so repeatedly. He knows that. So I mean, you can give them some more land and then say, stay there. Like, how practically can you force this to work if one side isn't wanting those terms? If it can be done and that creates peace, okay. Like, I'm not opposed to a little strong arm tactics to save lives.
And other Arab nations should continue to pursue normalization with Israel. And this should be the foundation of a grand bargain in the Middle East that will finally make meaningful Palestinian statehood a reality. For our part, the United States, the world superpower, must work together with our allies to bring our immense diplomatic and financial power to bear on this situation. We can be a partner to a grand bargain in the Middle East by deepening our relationship with the Saudis and other Arab nations to induce them to make a deal, but only if they actively guide Palestinians to a more peaceful future. On the Israeli side, the U.S. government should demand that Israel conduct itself with a future two-state solution in mind. We should not be forced into a position of unequivocally supporting the actions of an Israeli government that include bigots who reject the idea of a Palestinian state.
So that's the new racist. That's the new word on the left, is bigot. It's just more broad and general, and people don't know exactly what it means. Because when they were throwing around the racist thing, that started to lose some of its sting, and then people are like, that's not racist. You just said a fact. Because facts don't care about your feelings. So let's look up the definition of bigot and see if it's been changed recently. You know what I like to do? Everyone should have these old books. Let's compare. I mean, look at this thing. This is an old dictionary. So yes, I've got a podcast where I'm going to read you a dictionary definition. I need my readers for this, I think. Bigot. A bigot. One who is unreasonably and blindly attached to a particular creed, church, or party. One who is intolerant of opinions of others. So typically, the way bigot is used in this country now is more like that second definition. And of course, it's always, it's like, so the way bigot is typically used in this country right now is, you Christian bigot, you don't want to transition children? And it's like, well, yeah, you're also a bigot because you don't like what I have to say. So you're intolerant of what I have to say. You're being a bigot as well. That first part, let's look at that again here. One who is unreasonably and blindly attached to a particular creed, church, or party. So not religion, church. Okay? And that, or party. Or creed. Which I don't necessarily, maybe that would just kind of concern possibly any religion. Then the good old internet says a bigot, a person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced. So they just add caveats over the years, especially if you like Trump. How could you not be a bigot and like Trump? Like, of course you are. Because that means you possibly don't like big government, or you don't like Democrats, or or fear, or you see the downside that democracy could bring, or you see the tyranny that democracy could bring, or you love America, or you just think he's funny, or you think he's got cool hair, or you like people with orange skin. I don't know. But either way, you are definitely a bigot if you were thinking about voting for Donald Trump. In fact, if you don't, if you aren't actively hostile to any Trump supporter that you may come across in life, you are part of the problem. I'm going to say that now. But anyhow, we got that out of the way. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Israel is a democracy. 5 months into this conflict, it is clear that Israelis need to take stock of the situation and ask, must we change course? At this critical juncture, I believe a new election is the only way to allow for a healthy and open decision-making.
Now, he is the leader of the Senate and has passed budgets to fund Israel in this war. So what he's going to say is that Netanyahu's a bully and he needs to be stopped. But like, we're the ones who gave him the brass knuckles. All right.
Process about the future of Israel at a time when so many Israelis have lost their confidence in the vision and direction of their government. I also believe a majority of the Israeli public will recognize the need for change, and I believe that holding a new election, once the war starts to wind down, would give Israelis an opportunity to express their vision for the post-war future. Of course, the United States cannot dictate the outcome of an election, nor should we try. That is for the Israeli public.
So, Israel is in the middle of a war that they did not start. Now, are they perfect? No. Are they warmongers? Is Netanyahu a warmonger? Is he a warlord? He could be. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be. Objectionably. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I don't have any kind of vested interest in Netanyahu or Israel itself. I'm doing it again, talking with my hands. And, early on there was some conspiracy theory stuff kind of put out there. I don't know, who knows. But he's advocating for the takedown of the leader of a country in wartime, one of our closest allies. And he's not doing this in an interview on MSNBC, which would be bad enough. He's doing it in the halls of Congress.
To decide. A public that I believe understands better than anybody that Israel cannot hope to succeed as a pariah opposed by the rest of the world. As a democracy, Israel has the right to choose its own leaders, and we should let the chips fall where they may. But the important thing is that Israelis are given a choice.
They did. I mean, there was some kind of thing where they put in like a more liberal government. It's like their system, from my understanding, they don't actually vote for Netanyahu. They would vote for his party. And there was something like he was out of power for a little while, and then something happened, and then his party got back the power, and then they put him back in leadership. So it's a little confusing, maybe trifling. I don't know. Can't be worse than ours. But we don't influence foreign elections.
Fresh debate.
Now, Israel could, maybe they'll launch a multi-year, multi-million-dollar investigation like we did with Maher into Schumer. No, except for he just did it on TV. So
about the future of Israel
I guess they can save their money.
In my opinion, that is best accomplished by holding an election.
So Biden, instead of saying no, we're not going there as a country, he agreed. According to Breitbart, President Joe Biden's endorsement Friday of a call by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer for Israel to oust Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and hold new elections marks the worst crisis in the history of U.S.-Israel relations. Israel is currently fighting to defeat Hamas, which murdered 1,200 people in the October 7th terror attack. It is also under attack from Hezbollah in Lebanon and even faced missile attacks launched by Houthi rebels in Yemen. I'm pretty sure we still have U.S. citizens being held hostage there. I've not heard that they were all freed. All of these groups are funded and armed by Iran, which views the United States as its enemy. They typically call us the Great Satan, and Israel is Little Satan. Instead of backing Israel fully, Biden is not only criticizing Israel in increasingly strident terms, but demanding it remove its democratic leader. Biden is also slapping sanctions on Israel who have not been convicted of any crime. This week, he also sanctioned 2 geographic areas under Israeli control in the West Bank. At the same time, he gave Iran a $10 billion sanctions waiver. I'm not saying we should be funding Israel, but we definitely shouldn't be doing this. This is not a good idea. If Biden wins re-election, Israel could be wiped off the face of the planet. If the rest of the countries, hearing where the President of the United States is on them now, that puts them in danger until the election, that they could be attacked. And if Biden is re-elected, then other countries could just believe that, well, as long as Netanyahu's president, we're free to attack. And we'll just say that's why. That's going to change the world. So I'm at 1 hour time at the moment. 1 hour and 3 minutes. I'll cut it down.
Now hurry up.
So, okay, I guess here's this from Mark Levin, a radio host. Tweeted, Rubio kicks ass.
Senator Rubio, will you call for a ceasefire?
No, I will not. On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas has stopped building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Huh. Wow. Okay. I mean, I haven't heard him say much since he dropped out of the 2016 election. There. Kudos, Marco Rubio. And it's not even that I necessarily agree with him. I'm not saying I disagree with him, but that's a strong stance. And it didn't sound like your typical, well, they're our greatest ally, and we just blah, blah, blah. Like, that was a moral stance of they're evil and they need to go. One last story to laugh at. Elizabeth Warren comes up again. Are you tired of surprise costs and junk fees on your TV bills? What is she talking about? Who has what do you mean TV? My internet bill? Yeah. And there are a lot of things like, oh, extra, extra little costs and shit in there. Anyone's ever gone to a concert, they always know there's a bunch of extra fees and shit on there. And I'm sure the cell phone bills, internet bills, there are typically a few extra dollars in charges that aren't really explained and seem like bullshit. And I think maybe that's somewhere our state government could get involved. But, POTUS and the FCC are cracking down. This is a big win for families and its competition. So she was reposting from Biden, who said today the FCC adopted a rule requiring cable and satellite TV companies to show customers the full price up front so folks get the best deal.
It's a crock of shit.
They do. Because I remember at one point I was going to get a cable package and they lured me to make the phone call with a price, and then it was like, oh, you'll get and then there's like a $20 so-and-so fee, and it's like, well no. That's a little, but like I didn't sign up for it, and then like, oh shit, so they're trying to protect people who don't do due diligence apparently. But the TV bill, like what's a TV bill? Like, I have internet. Is that what you mean? Let me look at my internet bill, and then I subscribe to things to watch on my TV. This is the government getting our country, our culture is falling apart, and this is what they're worried about. Junk fees. Biden is talking about, because he was talking about baggage fees. There's something to this, okay? There's a reason behind this, and she is a big advocate of this. The junk fees that Biden always talked about on airlines, when they charge you extra for your baggages, your baggage, and this, and then he talked about there's an angle to this. I don't know what it is, but there is an angle to this. So, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things. Keep Laken Riley in your heart and keep her as a symbol, because there are many, many women that are going to suffer after her. There are many women who suffered before her, and we can be the ones who stop it. So please like, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!